It's really hard coming up with an opening for this because letting you guys in behind the scenes. This is the finale to our massive Marvel movie marathon after we have watched, what is this, 12 movies at this point? Basically, it was our attempt to create post-Geekout reactions, which is our spoiler talk show on here on this channel, for every single one of the Marvel films that we hadn't already done one for. Basically, all the ones that came out before we started this channel. So we had to get up to Ant-Man. We're here, we've done it. But here's the thing. We just got back from seeing Avengers Infinity War. So I'm gonna try and act like, yeah, let's talk about Ant-Man. I'm like, God, I just wanna like sit here and think about Avengers Infinity War some more. There will be no spoilers for Avengers Infinity War. No. The post-Geekout reaction for that is coming up in just a few hours after this goes up. So don't worry, everybody, it's coming. But yeah, man, it's a doozy. But for now, let's just sit through one last more Marvel film before this. So let's talk about the one and only one that has literally nothing at all to do with Avengers Infinity War. Not exactly the best one to go out on with this.
Yeah,
but actually, I kind of want to talk about Ant-Man after seeing Avengers Infinity War, because this is just a darn fun, charming movie. Watching all of these Marvel films back to back to back to back to back, it's made me realize a couple of things. One is that everybody talks about how Marvel doesn't have good villains. And after watching all these, I'm just like, I always said that too, but no, there actually are more good ones than I remember in here. There's actually are a decent chunk of villains in here that actually are memorable, are enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, there's still bad ones, but everybody who says like, oh, they're all bad, it's like, no, only like half of them are bad. Half of them are actually pretty darn good. This film, though, has a bad villain in it. I will go ahead and say that. I'm not bringing that up. I just had to bring that up real quick because the other lesson that I have learned from watching all these is that a lot of people say, oh, all the Marvel movies are the same. No. And Ant-Man is very different. Ant-Man, the scale of it, not to make a joke on this, but the scale is very small with this. And after watching Age of Ultron, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Winter Soldier all leading up to this one, it was really darn refreshing to get this. It felt good to just go, ah.
That's kind of how I felt when I watched the Spider-Man Homecoming, so...
That was like the message of Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming, like everybody talks about Civil War being commentary on the Marvel films, because it was like, oh, the Marvel films blow up too much stuff. Civil War is about them saying you can't blow up stuff anymore. Spider-Man... The other problem with all the Marvel films was they were always too big. Like, they were always giant, massive, explodey things. Like, you always had to save the world from ultimate destruction. Spider-Man was going up to Tony Stark throughout the entire film going, I want to be the big save the world from total destruction hero. And Tony's just going, no, we have enough of those. We don't have the friendly neighborhood guy. Stick to your friendly neighborhood. I was like, yeah, that's kind of what the Marvel films needed at that point. But before they had Spider-Man, they had Ant-Man. And this film, it's a lot more comedic. I know that all the Marvel films have comedy in there, but a lot of times they do have more dramatic films, and the comedy is in there just to kind of like keep you from getting bogged down, keep you going through the film no matter how serious it gets. This film is a flat-out comedy, but it's like a family-friendly comedy almost. This film actually kind of reminds me of, I don't know if there's a word for them, but those old like 60s, 50s Disney comedies, like The Shaggy Dog or The Love Bug, Flubber, like all those things, like some that used to be like Don Knotson back in the day. It's like, yeah, man, if Disney had, I keep seeing all those memes of what if Disney made the Avengers back in the 40s, back in the 50s, and it's like, you know, Cary Grant as Iron Man, or no, Clark Gable's the one they always cast as Iron Man, but yeah, you know those, you've seen those?
Yeah.
I could see like this being like you grabbing one of those actors from those films and this just looking like one of those movies. It has that feel to it of being like a family-friendly comedy.
Yeah, but then there's the shrinking incidents that don't work, and
that's the one thing in this that really... Listen, I don't like the villain in this film, but I still put him above guys like Malekith or who are some of the other really flat, bland ones. They're so bland I'm forgetting them.
Ronan?
Ronan, yeah, I put him above Ronan. I'd even put him probably above Killian, even though I like Killian's plan. I don't like him as a character. I still would put Yellowjacket above them because A, the suit is cool, but also B, when you see the shrinking technology go wrong, it makes you go, oh, fuck this guy. Because one of my greatest fears is being, and it's not a fear, isn't like a thing that could actually happen, unless you want to get like really like metaphysical with it, but really psychological with it, I should have said. My greatest fear is that idea of being turned into something that you aren't, against your control.
Yeah, like...
So, those guys, like, when they get turned into little globs, like, I know it's implied they're dead, but all I'm thinking is, what if they're still, like, alive in there and they just, like, they have no mouth, but they must scream, kind of stuff.
Part of me thinks that they might be alive, because whenever you see, like, a little splat, you see, like, a little... sort of a twitching.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe they're just like in extreme pain.
I know, it freaks, oh god, it makes me like nauseous just thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, that those scenes are messed up. But
that's messed up, yes. But aside from that, I think that this has more of like a charming all ages feel to it. And a lot of that has to do with Paul Rudd. Dear God, the thing that makes this film work, like 50% of what makes this film work, it's kind of like Iron Man. It's the leading character in there because Paul Rudd is so damn charming in this film. He's Paul Rudd. That's what he does. Now I'm thinking of the one Halloween film that he was in when he was like 20 years old. And I was like, okay, that's the one film he wasn't charming in. But, yeah, man, he is just known for being charming. And he is just Paul Rudd in this film. But Scott Lang is such a good character in this.
Yeah, it's like... To me, he's like the modern day Robin Hood, like...
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's like... And his crew are like his merry men in a way.
Oh, I didn't even take it that far. I thought of it the other way, but I hadn't taken it that far. You're right, you're totally right on that. Which his crew is great as well. I remember only really liking Luis the first time I saw it, but when we watched it here the second time, Peach is running into the camera. Don't do that, little buddy. I remember when we watched it the second time, I was like, I actually like all of them. I like the Russian hacker guy. I like the car thief guy. Like, they're all good. But Luis... I remember digging the joke of him telling crazy stories. I forgot how goddamn funny that was. Like, I was laughing hysterically at that even the second time we saw this. And man, again, after watching Avengers Infinity War, how like depressing that was, I really kind of hope that when Avengers 4 comes out, they put out there like a little teaser thing, and the teaser is just Luis coming out here, is like Scott Lang just going, okay, so what have I missed? Okay, man, so, you know, I got this friend, and he's over here, and we were at the Avengers Plaza, and you know, they got those really great donuts outside, but I don't really like those ones. But they had this great... No, I can't even do what he does. I can't even, like, pretend to imitate it. It's so an art form what he is able to pull off with this. Man, Pete, you just fell right off there, buddy. Get back up here. If we turned ant size, you would eat us immediately and have not a second thought. Oh, okay. But yeah, that is one of my favorite gags in here. You're trying to eat me now, even. Yum.
Size doesn't matter to her.
Yes. I will take on everyone. She will try to eat Thanos. She will try to eat Giant Man, even. But yeah, like, I love the gags in there, but Scott Lang himself is a great character because of a couple of reasons. One, Paul Rudd is insanely charming. But B, even though he has a troubled past, he did it for good reason. We got that in there. He's got a family, and he loves his daughter, and the daughter loves him, but you absolutely, like, want to see them together. Like, the moment when she comes up to the birthday party, and he gives her the little toy, and it's this ugly rabbit, and her stepdad just goes, what the heck is that? And she goes, it's so ugly! I love it! And it's like, oh my god, he gets his daughter.
He gets his daughter,
He gets his daughter. Like, man, that is so insanely touching. And you can see how much she means to him. Because, yeah, he has to go and commit a crime again, and you're like, no, man, you just said you were trying to get your life back around. We know things have been tough on you. But when you see him making out that list of how much everything is going to cost him, and 377 days until I can see Casey again, it was like, yeah, man, you made the audience want to see you go back into crime. You did a great job with that. Also, he's insanely relatable, especially for like the millennial generation out there.
Yeah, it's like I have a degree in all these things. What could possibly go wrong? Hi, welcome to Baskin Robbins.
Just smash cut to that. Just bam. And the guys who wrote this clearly had worked retail before. Retail, food service, something like that. Because when the guy comes up, it's like, yeah, can I get a burger? Oh, we don't do, like, he's trying to be nice. Oh, we don't do that. And it was like, can I get just like something hot? It's like, we don't do that. It's Baskin Robbins, you know, ice cream. Whatever's hot and ready. I'll take whatever's hot and ready right now. It's like, are you he is trying not to punch that kid. Which, by the way, the guy that got to even say those lines has the most punchable face in the world. Like, and that's a compliment, too. He lived up to the role he needed. And just Also, like, I've complained before in the past about product placement in the Marvel films. I think that is a problem that a lot of their movies have. Easily the best product placement in any of their films.
Like, I'm surprised there wasn't, like, an Ant-Man themed ice cream or something.
There might have been. I don't go to Baskin.
I didn't see any commercials about it though.
We don't really watch TV though, so
yeah, that's true.
We didn't go to Baskin Robbins. We don't go to Baskin Robbins either.
No.
Closest I ever get to Baskin Robbins is the one that's merged with the Dunkin' Donuts. I go to the Dunkin' side, never even cross into the Baskin side. They could have had a giant Ant-Man display 2 feet from my hands. Like, I ain't even turn. You could see this great Ant-Man thing if you just turned 2 feet. It's like, nah, I'm good. Let me get a box of Munchkins. Do you have any Ant-Man themed Munchkins here? It's like, no, but like 5 feet to my left, there's a, nah, it's good. I don't like ice cream. Anywho. Just realized we bought Star Wars ice cream like weeks ago. Did we ever eat that?
I ate some, but you didn't.
Okay.
There's some left, so go ahead.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Alright, cool. Anywho. Day in the life of the bishops. Okay. Bishop and Bard, I should say.
Double B.
Double B. I like that. Anywho. Yeah, so it's insanely likable that you see him in this situation, but also it's great product placement because it's like, yeah, man, it's like Baskin Robbins admitted, we know it's demeaning to work for us. We get what the joke is.
Like, we know.
We'll let you have it.
Like, we know working in food service sucks.
Yeah. It's like they were like, yeah, but you're still advertising us, so we'll admit what we are. And although I will say the line that they have in here, Baskin Robbins always finds out. It's like, I remember people saying that for weeks after this movie came out. I had forgotten about that line, but it's so good. So, he's already relatable because of what he has to go through. He already has a cause that you root for. He wanted to get back with his daughter. He's already insanely likable because he's Paul Rudd. But the other thing that makes him such a great character is he's acting kind of like goofy throughout all this because that's just the type of film it is. But the easiest way to make a character likable, to make people root for a character, is make them competent. That is something that so many comedies fail to do because it's like, okay, well, we just have to make them like goofy and screw up. It's like, Scott Lang is the perfect example of how to not do that because Scott Lang is a screw up. He is goofy. He does constantly screw things up and constantly fail at things. But the thing he is known for, the thing that he is good at, breaking into places, he's damn good at it.
He's a damn good burglar.
Like, watching the sequence of him breaking into Hank Pym's safe, oh my god, like, the way in which he is able to replicate a fingerprint on the fly. I went, oh my god, that's not like weird science, sci-fi stuff. That could that work? Is that a thing that could actually work? Oh my god. It made you sit there and go, this guy actually is really smart and really good at what he does. You can have someone be a goofy screw up, but if you want people to root for them, you have to give them a thing that they're really good at and make the audience believe that. And the movie nailed it. This is honestly, you could honestly study this if you are a film student. If you want to know how to write a likable protagonist. Because they nail it out of the park. One thing right after another. But yes, as for the rest of this film, Michael Douglas, I really dug him in here. I thought Michael Douglas was going to be in this, and he was just going to be like, kind of going through the motions, just like, yeah, I'm in a superhero film, whatever. I didn't want to do this, but whatever, I'll be a part of this thing, I suppose. No, man, he's giving it his all. I wish they had leaned into his bipolar disorder a little bit more. He doesn't even really have bipolar disorder. He has a chemical imbalance that's been caused by the Pym particles, which, you know, they still give you something in there. They still get, so, okay, partial credit on that. I would like to see it explored more, and hopefully they'll explore it more in the sequel. I really liked, who was it that played, was it Evangeline Lilly who played, Hope?
I don't know.
Peach is going, no, you're wrong. Sorry, I had to take care of something real quick. Yeah, it is Evangeline Lilly. I checked it. I really like the character of Hope Pym.
Yeah, I like her character too, but it's like, the romance is really forced and unnecessary.
Yeah, like, the closest you get to anything is when she, like, there's that one shot of her checking him out with his shirt off. Which, by the way, if you are a character in if you're the protagonist of a Marvel film, you're taking your shirt off to show off your abs at some point in time.
A male protagonist, at least. But
there have been no other protagonists, which, that's another thing. Like, I always had a problem with the fact that all the Marvel films star, except for Black Panther, all white dudes. And then Black Panther's still a dude, but hey, it's at least something different. I had always had a problem with that. It wasn't until we had watched all these films back to back to back to back that I was like, oh my god, it's way worse than I thought. Like,
yeah,
it just beats you down. At
yeah, it's like especially after seeing Infinity War, where like everyone is a white dude with a beard, and it's like, oh,
that's a big thing. There. Even the one thing I and Captain America have in common is it took both of us 2 years to grow a beard. Yeah, it is one of those things. Which, I mean, there is more diversity than when it began. They have added more characters recently. But yeah, man, it does kind of like, he was like, oh, fuck, that's a lot.
Peach.
What is it, Peach?
What's the matter?
Sorry we keep having to stop over and over again. Peach is just starved for attention at the moment. We have been doing nothing but recording nonstop this entire week, and she's like, I have had enough of this. I don't even care about Marvel. I'm a DC person. Wonder Woman is the only good superhero film.
She looked cute in a Wonder Woman costume.
Maybe with a headband on. She could keep that on. Oh, they should make like the little headband, but as like a collar. Anyway, that's beside the point. What were we saying? We were off on a whole tangent about Marvel films being nothing but dudes, but that's changing now. It's good, finally, hooray. So, can I get back over here now, Peach? But yeah, like at the end when they're just making out, I was like, this again, it totally feels like, yeah, it just feels like we just had to do that. It just feels like a thing that just had to be done. I was like, no, it didn't. It was so good. But she, aside from that, she's got a really good character arc in here.
Yeah.
She's got a really good story of like her bonding with her father over the thing that happened to the mother that the father never told her, and the father always blamed himself. Like, yeah, they've got a real good thing going in this. And I'm so glad that the next film is Ant-Man and Wasp. And she is now like 50% of the story. I dig that. And I want to see, like, because she is good in here as a supporting character who isn't the superhero, I want to see how she's going to do as the superhero in the next one. But yeah, so aside from all that, we're also talking about how this film is different from other Marvel movies. I dig that it is a heist film. I think that part of this actually works really well because it's not a typical heist film. It's just a heist film involving superpowers and ants. Lots and lots of ants.
But it's like, I feel like a heist movie works well with the shrinking powers.
Absolutely it does.
A superhero movie works well with the growing powers, which is what we see in Civil War. Like,
yeah, and we're going to get more of that in like the second one.
Yeah,
too.
but I was like, with a heist, you gotta sneak into like small places. You gotta be really not seen. So it's like it's perfect for like the shrinking powers.
It absolutely is. Yeah, so that works. But even then, it's like it's not just sneaking in. It's like we need someone on the inside to do this. We need someone to be doing this at this time, and they do all that stuff incredibly well. And I dig, like, seeing, like, their, like, turn to be heroes there at the end. Like, when Luis is, like, helping Scott out by taking out the two guys firing at him, which, by the way, did you catch that the model he was running on that was being shot at was a replica of the model from Zoolander? What is this, a school for ants?
I'm pretty sure that was, like, a meme on, like, the internet when, like, Ant-Man first came out in
Was this a movie for ants? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but I thought that was an amazing little Easter egg they put in there. But yeah, I love that after he like helps him out and takes out the gunman, he's like, yeah, are we the good guys? Yeah, we're the good guys. Feels kind of nice, you know? It was like, yeah, I kind of dig that. I like seeing that, but then at the end, like when they're showing up to like save Scott, they just kind of slowly back away, just back it up. Just back it up. I was like, they're heroes, but not 100% there just yet. Okay. So I kind of dug that part of it too.
Also, I thought it was because they were worried that the police would arrest them because they still have a record.
100% too. But that's my point. They're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go there and save the day. Oh, we might get into trouble. No, Scott's got this. Yeah, exactly. It kind of shows that like, yeah, they're in the fun gray area there. But let's see, another thing that I really dig about this film is that, you know, this whole movie, his ex-wife married a cop, and the cop was like, you're not seeing your daughter. It would be so easy. I mean, he's a thief, and the new husband is a cop. It would be so easy to just make him the biggest dick, who's just like the ultimate villain. This movie
just like abuses power and everything.
At the end of this movie, like the wife goes, "Oh, I see how bad you were. I'm getting back together with Scott," and like just dumps him. Like doesn't even if she doesn't get back together with Scott, she just dumps him or something. And like, you know, he falls on his face at the end of this whole movie. He's like, "Ah, pointing, laughing, the big jerk cop." It's like, no, I love that this guy cares about Casey too. Like, he charges in to save Casey too. When Yellow Jacket is like there in front of him, he goes, get behind me. And he's protecting her with his life. And this movie ends with all of them sitting around at the big dining table. And he's like, yeah, you know, I can't put Casey's dad in jail, especially right after he came back. And they're like, oh, Casey did her first cartwheel today. He's like, here, I got a video of it. And like Scott and him are like looking at this video footage, and both of them are like just beaming with pride. Like, this is an insanely healthy message at the end of this. Not this message of like, oh, the family has to be one specific thing. It's like families can be different things. And also not this message of, oh, just because you're the stepdad, that means that you're evil. It's like, no, man, someone new can come in here and like still care and still be a part of the family. And just because you're not married anymore doesn't mean you're not part of the family anymore. This is a very healthy message at the end of this. Only thing that, like, you know, is really keeping this film from being, like, really huge, like, any higher on, like, my list of favorite Marvel films is, A, the villain sucks, again. Aside from the fact that he does have a cool costume. I will say that the cool costume gives him some points. And also, I love that, again, we're talking about the smaller scale of this. I love that the big ending battle of this, it's not everything is blowing up. In fact, the building even implodes on itself. But I love that it's not, no, we have to cause everything to explode. It's, no, it is very creative. They're fighting inside of a briefcase. They are fighting just, now they're in someone's pool. Now they're at home and they're fighting on the train set. Scott doesn't save the day by blowing something up, really. He saves the day by just shrinking down, doing the thing they knew they never could, which there is supposed to be an Easter egg in here of when he shrinks between the molecules and now he's just shrinking forever. And you hear Hank Pym's voice in there going, you'll be shrinking for all eternity. There's a Marvel character called Eternity who is supposed to be the living embodiment of the universe, and it's basically just a big dude whose entire body is made up of stars in space. Apparently, you can see him in that moment when he says eternity. I have heard so many people say that, but I was looking for it this time, and I still didn't see it in there. Yeah, I don't know. But what was I saying? Yeah, really the only reason why this movie isn't like higher on my list isn't because it really does anything wrong. It's just like, there's nothing in here I really am like, oh my god, that was mind-blowing. Yeah. The special effects are great. Yes. Like, very creative. They did some really cool stuff with that. And I do think there's positive messages in here. I really like the characters. But it's really just a good time. Yeah. It is just a good, fun film. And I dig that not every single Marvel film has to be that huge. Alright, that's all I got that I wanted to say. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I just really like the concept. It's an interesting concept. Yeah. Like, I think it might have to do with the fact that, like, I've watched a lot of movies and cartoons that involve shrinking or, like, small things like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and, like... It kind of, like, when I was talking about those older Disney things, I was mostly referencing stuff from, like, the 50s and 60s, but that was, like, the closest to a modern-day version of one of those films that we got. Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah. So yeah, the concept is, again, it's a very unique thing for a superhero film. But, okay. Peach is getting super squirmy. Anything else you want to add? No. I think just Peach needs a walk right now.
I think she needs a walk, so we're going to take her for a walk, but that was it. We're finally done with the Massive Marvel Movie Marathon. Like I said, we've already seen Infinity War, so the post-Geekout reaction for that is coming up in just a couple hours. Stay tuned, everyone. Come back next time. Bye.
Bye.
Did you wave?
I waved for Paw.
Yay!